life doesn't have to be a burden. It's supposed to fill you up like a good breakfast should. Okay. So yeah, and I'm going to keep saying breakfast because girl, it's called product placement. Okay. And this is Breakfast with BB. So I'm going to keep saying it. But anyways, I wanted to discuss being open to all that life has to teach you, because you can welcome the unwanted feelings. Like you can be like, okay, I'm angry as fuck today. I'm going to sit with my anger. But like, if you're not open to it, if you're not open to learning what the anger has to teach you, because it does have a lesson for you to learn, if you're not open to what is actually emerging from within, then it's kind of hard to really gain anything from doing this work. You see what I'm saying? Like it's hard to gain from meditation when you're not actually open to it, because there are a lot of people who meditate and they suffer through it. I kind of was one of those people at first when I first started. Like I've been meditating for years. It's 2023 now. I started meditating back when I graduated college, like literally right after I graduated, because a bitch was just going through it. Post-grad life was hard, and it still can be sometimes. And when I started my meditating journey, I was hell-bent on being disciplined. I was hell-bent on being that person that could sit through 10, 15, 20 minutes of silence, or just music, or a meditation playlist, or whatever it may be. And some days I just didn't have it in me, but I would try to force myself to do it because I was like, this is a discipline, I need to do this, But again, that's the achiever within you. That's not necessarily you. And we will explore that as well this season on Breakfast with BB. But I do recall those moments where I suffered through meditation because I wasn't actually open to it. I wasn't open to God really doing what He saw best in my life. I was trying to force the practices that I thought were best serving me or would best serve me. And God had other things in mind. God had other career paths in mind for me. God had other choices in mind for me. So when you become open to all that life has to teach you, you realize that there's so much more available to you in this life. And often, like, we cut ourselves off from experiencing the divine because we think we know it all. We think we have all the answers. So we expect God to follow our plan instead of following his/hers, because God is all. God honestly doesn't even have a gender, y'all. So yeah, we can kind of cut that thing here. But anyways, sorry to break it to you, honey. But yeah, we think we know what the mountaintop is supposed to look like. We have this idea in our mind of what success and what abundance is supposed to be and what it's supposed to feel like. But God has way more than a mountaintop for us, especially in mind for us. Like, He has the entire universe in mind for us to experience, because we are all that is. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience. For me, this happens pretty often. I think a part of it is because, like, meditation has opened me up to experiencing all of life and enjoying all of life and loving all of life. Now, I'm not saying at all times I'm enjoying everything or loving everything, but I'm coming to appreciate life in its fullness, in its wholeness, in its entirety. And one thing that I really, really do appreciate is like natural light. Like, I just love it when I wake up and the sun is just flooding my home or my bedroom. I just feel like, ooh, like God is shining down on me. Like, when I first started meditating, I used to meditate at the window in my bedroom. This was like my first apartment post college. Well, it was like I had this apartment my last semester, and then I just still lived in it for some time being after I graduated. And as I meditated at the window, like, I would open the curtains and I would just feel the sunlight coming through, and I just felt like God was literally shining directly on me. And I would just be so excited and just so I don't know, I can't even express the feeling with words sometimes, but I would just feel like, okay, I'm doing something right, God is shining on me, bitch. Like, I would just feel so bright and so pure and so like in alignment. And it's so funny because I thought like that was the highest of meditation until I started meditating outside. And let me tell you, that's a whole different experience. That is a whole other world. And I didn't even realize that it was just that amazing to meditate outside, because I was thinking like the light was best indoors. And then it's like you open the door to go outside and you're like, oh, wait a minute. I thought it was bright up in here. Look at this entire world that the sun is lighting up. Look at the way that you radiate. Like, have you guys ever felt like, ooh, like I'm just radiating after being out in the sun? That's what the energy of the sun does for you. That's what the energy of the divine does for you. And tapping into that and experiencing it and being open to that experience, it really kind of changes you, y'all. I cannot lie. When you open yourself up to God's plan, it's like stepping outside. It's stepping out into a whole new world. Not the world that we've been conditioned to think is so scary and fearful, but the world that is safe and that is loving and that is embracing and accepting and appreciative of who we are and celebratory of who we are. I don't think I would be able to experience that world unless I was open. If you really want to establish a secure relationship with the divine, if you really want to set a foundation with God and become a friend of God, gain a relationship with him for real, I suggest being open to all things. Being open to the unfathomable, being open to him flooding your life with light and love, because that is what he will do. But it won't look like what you think it's supposed to look like. It won't feel like what you think it's supposed to feel like. It won't be what you think it's supposed to be. And I'm just gonna say that now, because we all have an idea, but like, you have no clue. Like, if you have an idea, if you really see what the future is supposed to look like, then you may not be living out God's plan for you. You may not be truly letting the divine lead you and guide you. And I think that's really, really important when it comes to establishing a relationship with him, allowing him to lead, allowing God to lead, allowing the universe to show you the way, allowing the universe to speak before you do, and listening, because we love to speak, but we don't like to listen. That is one thing that I had to learn about myself. Like, there was a point where I really did not like to listen, and I'm still learning to become a great listener, and I'm getting better at it every day. But yeah, like, you got to be open, you got to listen. There's so much light available. You kind of have to be still to experience it. So be open and be willing to be still, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, because that was my next point. But yeah, be willing to be still for a second. Like, to stop all actions for a second, to stop all striving and achieving for 2 minutes, not worrying about what's next or what you need to be doing or what's on your to-do list or what there is to be achieved or where you are trying to go or get to, but like really taking a moment to be like, hey, wait a minute, I'm living this life thing, but I'm not really experiencing it. Hey, wait a minute, I'm living this life thing and I've got goals and objectives to achieve every single day, but like, I'm not even feeling through this thing. I don't even feel connected to this life that I'm living or that I'm experiencing. Because oftentimes, like, I've seen a lot of people who are going through the daily motions and they have all the things. They have the money, they have the boyfriends, they have the apartment, but like, they have no real connection to their own life. They have no real reason for why they do what they do. They have no real reason for why they do what they do. They can't explain to you why it is that they're with the person they're with, why it is they love the people they love, why it is they're in the friendships that they're currently in. Establishing that relationship with God will actually show you that, hey, maybe the life that I'm trying to lead isn't the life that is actually for me. And that's a hard pill to swallow, bitch. Trust me, I understand. It's really hard to swallow. It was hard for me to swallow, but learning to accept life as it is right now has allowed me to experience life for the real beauty that it has to show to us, because it's breathtaking out here, y'all, but you got to open your eyes to see it. You got to open your ears to hear it. You got to open your mind to experience it. As we begin this journey, I want you guys to be open and to be willing to be still. Be open to the new possibilities in new world and new ideas of yourself too, and others, because we have these ideas, but that's not necessarily who we are, and that's not even who they are. So be really open to all the new things that are to come your way. As we journey together, I just again want to encourage you to be open, to remain open, to remember that there is no right or wrong way to explore. So there is no right or wrong way to do this work. And some days it will feel excruciatingly painful. Some days it'll feel like your heart is on fire. Your heart is just in pain. Again, as I was saying, be open to the newness of life and be open to doing things even if they feel like you're doing them the wrong way. Be open to this new discipline and to new focus. Okay? Be open to the pain, be open to the process, but know that the darkness is still a gift. But much like, a rainy day, eventually the clouds will have to part and the sun is going to shine back through. And some days you'll feel dark and heavy, and some days you'll feel lighter than the clouds themselves. But all of it is necessary, and all of it is beautiful, and all of it is purposeful. Try not to judge it, and even if you do, allow that, allow the feelings of judgment to surface when they may. Remember that this is a marathon. This is a journey. There's no specific destination you need to get to, because that destination, if you think about it, is death. So like, you don't need to rush to that. You don't need to rush to kill yourself. We need you here. If you're here right now, then you're needed and you're necessary and you're enough as is, and you're beyond ready for this journey. You're beyond ready to take this pathway. You may be afraid, but that doesn't mean you can't start walking. That doesn't mean you can't start crawling if you gotta crawl. That doesn't mean you can't start running if you want to run. That doesn't mean you can't jump if you want to jump and fly, bitch. Because you know, I've jumped out of a plane before and that shit was scary as fuck at first. Like Will Smith says, once you get out there, it's bliss. It's bliss. And that's what we're here to uncover. The bliss that life has to offer to you. Because I want you to revel in this experience of life. Not suffer it, but surrender to it. Anyways, that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys so much. And I'm sending you so much light and love. Until next episode. Oh, and don't forget to follow me on the socials. I'll have those linked. But yeah, I love you guys so much. All right, bye-bye. Mwah.